Two incredible women's 200-meter races, two different eras of sprinting. In this video, we break down how Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce dominated Steiner and Ofili, and how Gabby Thomas outpowered Dina Asher-Smith.
And embracing her passions on and off the track. So undisputed, you gotta hear this. Undisputed greatest of all time in the 100. She won her 5th 100-meter title, the only woman to win 5 world titles in the same individual event. Just absolutely incredible.
This crowd knows that the next big superstar in this event could be Abby Steiner, the NCAA champion, the collegiate record holder. Only Shericka Jackson has run faster this year. She's also the U.S. national champion this year to boot.
Okay, so you'll often hear Addo talk about UCLA. You'll hear Sonia talk about Texas or Baylor. Have a look at
Kudos to the coaches of that school and how well their athletes have not just run collegiately, but continued to run.
The only athlete here who has beaten Abby Steiner is this 19-year-old from Nigeria.
The Nigerians are very excited about her, the SEC champion. So she won SECs, Steiner got her back at NCAAs, and now they're in adjacent lanes representing their country at the World Championships. You better believe that those 3 lanes, 4, 5, and 6, are going to be hot for this semifinal.
And Favour Ofili said, I didn't just come here to compete. I am here to win. That might be a little tough against Shericka Jackson, but we'll see. Final, semi-final. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Favour Ofili, Abby Steiner in this.
Set.
Who's going to make the cut to make the final?
This is Abby Steiner's 54th race of the year. Look at the world champion at 100 meters. She knows she has to build a lead because Steiner and Ofili are going to be coming.
Here comes the young American on the inside of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. And Favour Ofili's got some work to do. Only the top 2 go through. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce have left them behind. She wins in 21.83. Abby Steiner will go through on the automatic qualifier. And Favour Ofili in 3rd. We'll have to look at the time. Wow. Championships.
Prior to last year, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce had never broken 22. I wasn't sure if she was a medal contender at this meet. In this event, she is.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Otto. I was shocked. I wasn't shocked at her first 100. I just didn't think that she would hold it so well. And she still looked comfortable in the final part of that race. I saw her after the 100-meter race, and I asked her, "Are you going to run a 200?" She said, absolutely. Wow. The kind of passion that she still has for this sport. After going from the pocket rocket to mommy rocket, after dominating still in the 100, to see how much she still loves to compete, it is so admirable.
Best is 21.79. She just ran within 300s. And how did she do it? By having this monster start. You talk about a turn. She ran a turn. She almost straightened the turn. And then we thought, okay, maybe Steiner and Ofili come back at her. No such happenings. The 100-meter world champion looks like she's going to be in the conversation for a medal as well.
And think about this for these 2 young women in the middle of the track. Favour Ofili in the green and Team USA's Abby Steiner. This is important for them from a respect standpoint. And as far as age, for Steiner, she's giving away 13 years to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and for Favour Ofili is giving away 16 years.
Wow.
And at 35, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce may have never looked better.
Let me tell you something about Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. You don't get 10 world championship goals without having a precise plan. She would have seen this lane draw yesterday and known. I know that Steiner and Ofili can run me down, but not if I put so much space between me and them in the first half that they have something to think about. And man, she took these collegians to school in this semifinal. 21.8, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is ready for the final.
Now you know why she's known as the Mummy Rocket. You just saw it. Season best for Shelly-Ann, Abby Steiner, Favour Ofili, and both the women on the automatic qualifier are without Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
Catching their breath. And so Mommy Rocket, as everybody's calling you upstairs, how did you have all this speed and then be able to hold on to it in the second half of the race, after the 100 meters as well?
Yeah, I use what I have to my advantage. That's the first 100, so I tried to get out. because I know speed was behind me. So I tried to get out as quick as I could and just focus on my technique coming home.
Abby, step in here. You belong here now in this conversation. Your 54th race of the season. How are you able to continue to run so well? And take me through maybe the last 20 meters to make sure you held on to second.
Yeah, just trying to maintain form and keep my posture coming on the back.
Asher-Smith, former world champion, 2019 in Doha when she was right at the top of her game. Still a world force in 200 and 100 meter running, British record holder. The Olympic champion, Gabby Thomas, serenely made her way through the rounds in Paris, had such a great season last year. Really looking forward to seeing a race here. The previously mentioned Nasser of Bahrain. Last weekend in the Dominican Republic, she ran the quickest 400 in the world yet this year. Yes, it's early, but she's in good form. Then we've got Nikisha Price, the first Jamaican ever to run under 49 seconds. And again, a pretty decent 200-meter runner, but this is not her main event. Same for Alexis Holmes. Her top 9 times out of her top 10 were all set in 2024. So an improving athlete. 25-year-old, as I said, come over after the World Indoor Championships in China. Well, Paulino, who moved to the 400, I guess probably in around about 2020, and has dominated that event, certainly last year. Talitha Diggs in lane 2. And then Stacey-Ann Williams of Jamaica. Fresh from a new indoor 400 personal best. Lane 1 maybe tough in this 200 then. Hansen, what we're looking for here?
Well, Paulino needs to at least come out of here with at least 5 points, because obviously to win, you get a little boost with the 12 points to win the deuce. Gabby and Dina are really going to be battling for that, and I think that they know that they're going to have a good chance at that 100K if they jump out in front with the points in this early race. Spoke to Dina like yesterday, and Dina actually said that she's really focused on that 4. Very confident about her too. So that 400 is going to be something special when she gets out there.
Dina Asher-Smith in lane 8. Gabby Thomas, Olympic champion, in 7. Safely away first time. Asher-Smith got out pretty good. Nasser just got left a little bit. You'd expect that by the 2 sprinters on the outside. But it's Gabby Thomas around the top end who's just got half a meter on Dina Asher-Smith. And Thomas normally starts to go away from this point. Nasser running well in 3rd at the moment. And then there's a battle with Paulino charging down the last 30-40. But it's going to be Gabby Thomas. Asher-Smith might just hang on here. It's Gabby Thomas, but Paulino with a real surge, taking 2nd place. And that will be really, really significant. We expected Gabby Thomas to come away with a win, 22.62 in these conditions. That's pretty swift, that's pretty good. But Paulino, that is significant. You get 12 points for winning, you get 8 points for 2nd. But when we cast this forward to the 400 tomorrow and the possible result there, let's say the possible result, that is significant for Paulino.
Nah, it's absolutely significant because she's obviously going to do her thing in the 4. For her to come 2nd, I didn't expect that, man. Gabby getting 1st place obviously makes sense. She's the Olympic champion, but for Paulino to come out of there with those extra points, she's going to end up having a good chance at that 100K.
Dina always runs a pretty good turn, transition at the home straight here. Gabby Thomas just moved away, just got that gap, and it looked as though Dina was rallying again here.
You know what? Gabby ran a much better turn than I expected. She's tall. You don't expect the taller sprinters to have such a good turn, but she's efficient. And once she gets on the straightaway and lets those limbs go, I mean, she's really, really hard to beat. I expected it to be a lot tighter with her, Dina. And that wasn't the case, but Paulino coming 2nd in that race, I think, is the big story.
Well, and so much hype has been on Gabby Thomas since the Olympics, and then since she announced early on that she was going to be running this series of Grand Slams. So look at that huge smile. She must feel really good breaking the tape.
You know what?
Well, you know, the expected winner, but not expected 2nd. Let's just check the result there. 22.62, as I mentioned, 22.93. It's the season's best because she hasn't raced yet for Paulino.
Right.
But the more significant thing for her is finishing 2nd. Dina Asher-Smith took 3rd spot.
The women's 200 meters has always been a race that reveals the true depth of sprinting talent. Unlike the explosive simplicity of the 100 meters, the half-lap demands a rare combination of acceleration, bend technique, speed endurance, and tactical awareness. Two different races, one featuring the legendary Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce against Steiner and Favour Ofili, and another where Gabby Thomas outperformed Dina Asher-Smith, illustrate how the event continues to evolve while connecting generations of elite sprinters. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce entered the championship in Oregon already carrying the weight of an extraordinary legacy. Known primarily as one of the greatest 100-meter runners in history, the Jamaican icon has repeatedly demonstrated that her abilities extend far beyond the straightaway. At 35 years old, she arrived not only as a veteran but as the reigning world champion in the 100 meters, determined to prove that experience and competitive intelligence can still overpower youth. In the 200-meter semifinals, Fraser-Pryce faced a field representing the future of the event. Steiner, the powerful American sprinter, had been gaining attention for her incredible closing speed and smooth mechanics. Favour Ofili, representing Nigeria, brought her own explosive style and aggressive approach to the curve. Both athletes were expected to challenge the Jamaican legend, particularly in the latter stages of the race where endurance often determines the outcome. But Fraser-Pryce delivered a performance that reminded the world why she is called the Mommy Rocket. From the moment the gun fired, she exploded from the blocks with remarkable precision. Her transition into the curve was nearly flawless, allowing her to establish an immediate advantage before her younger rivals could fully build their momentum. Maintaining remarkable rhythm through the bend, she entered the final straight already in command of the race. Despite the late race strength that Steiner and Ofili are known for, neither could close the gap. Fraser-Pryce crossed the line in a season-best 21.82 seconds, a time that not only secured her place in the final, but also demonstrated that she remains a genuine threat in both sprint events. The run symbolized more than just qualification. It was a powerful statement about longevity, discipline, and the ability to adapt across eras of competition. While Fraser-Pryce was demonstrating the enduring power of experience, another race highlighted the dominance of a new generation. At the first Grand Slam track meet in Kingston, Jamaica, the women's 200 meters produced an exciting showdown between Gabby Thomas and Dina Asher-Smith. Both athletes have established themselves among the world's best, but on that day, it was Thomas who clearly controlled the race. Starting from lane 7, Thomas executed her race strategy perfectly. Her start was composed rather than explosive, but she quickly built speed through the curve. By the time the runners exited the bend, she had already begun to separate from the field. Dina Asher-Smith, the 2019 world champion from Great Britain, attempted to apply pressure during the early stages, but Thomas responded with exceptional efficiency. One of Thomas's greatest strengths is her ability to maintain form at high speed. Her tall stride length allows her to cover ground effortlessly, and when she accelerated in the final straight, the race was effectively decided. She crossed the finish line in 22.62 seconds. A solid performance given the race conditions and early stage of the season. Asher-Smith fought hard to remain competitive, but faded slightly over the final 50 meters, eventually finishing third. The result reflected the small margins that often separate the world's best sprinters in the 200 meters, where timing the final acceleration can make the difference between victory and defeat. Together, these two races tell a fascinating story about the women's 200-meter landscape. On one side stands Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, a legendary figure who continues to defy expectations and challenge younger rivals with extraordinary consistency. On the other side, athletes like Gabby Thomas represent the next phase of sprinting evolution. Powerful, technically refined, and increasingly dominant on the global stage. What makes the event so compelling is this constant interaction between generations. Veterans bring tactical mastery and experience, while younger athletes introduce new levels of physical capacity and race aggression. The result is a dynamic and unpredictable discipline where every race has the potential to redefine the hierarchy of the sport. And if these performances are any indication, the women's 200 meters is entering a period where legends and rising stars will continue pushing each other toward even greater speeds.